a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice.
Evening Prime is brought to you by Misho, Amrutanjan Fruitnik Electro Plus, Dehydrate Feel Alive, TVS Jupiter 125, Zada Se Bhi Zada, Flipkart, India ka fashion capital, Everyday Spices, Leah Agarbatti, TVS Apache RTR, and Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash, Pimple Free, Healthy Skin ka expert. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma speaks against alleged conversion in the garb of providing education. Says government schools in tea gardens will ensure no one needs to change religion in exchange of education and health facilities. Manipur Chief Minister slams activist of Myanmar-based rights organization for allegedly trying to disturb peace in state. Says law will take its own course. Activist Mark Haukip apologized for insulting legendary freedom fighter Rani Gaidinliu. Brisk communication on between top brass of core committee on Naga talks and NSC and IM leadership to finalize date for crucial meeting. Meeting likely to take place before NSC and IM's emergency National Assembly meet. Biggest seizure of cough syrup by Guwahati police. Interstate network busted. Cough syrup worth ₹9 crore seized. And locals in Arunachal Stirrup district take to the streets against frequent kidnappings by underground groups. Chant slogans demanding peace and security. Hello and welcome to Evening Prime. I'm Priyadarshini Medhi and we start the bulletin with the big story we have been tracking today. Well, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has taken a dig at those carrying out alleged conversion of the tea garden populace in exchange of education and health facilities. With the Assam government giving a massive push to education in tea gardens by opening as many as 96 schools, Chief Minister Sharma said children from tea gardens will no longer have to suffer due to lack of schools, which has led to exploitation in the past. Without directly taking any names, the Assam Chief Minister added that while everyone had the right to embrace the religion of their choice, people cannot be enticed with facilities to give up their religion. Chief Minister Sharma made the comments while inaugurating model schools in tea garden areas in Sonitpur district. Well, the Assam Chief Minister added that the absence of good schools in the tea garden areas had been a big hindrance to the progress of the tea garden communities. Well, he said that he has no problem if someone converts because of his own will, But nobody should get converted because of the absence of good schools and hospitals.
স্কুল নাই কাৰণে হস্পিটাল নাই কাৰণে আমাৰ বাগিচাৰ কিমান মানুহৰ জীৱনৰ পৰিৱৰ্তন হ'ল স্কুলত আমি পঢ়িলো ডন বস্কোত পঢ়িলো শ্বিলঙত গৈ পঢ়িলো ঘূৰি আহিলো আমাৰ ধৰ্মটো নোহোৱা হৈ গ'ল বোলে কিয় অমুকে স্কুলত পঢ়াইছে কাৰণে আমি ধৰ্মটো বদলাই ললো ধৰ্মটো আমি যি খুচি নিজৰ তাকে ল'ব পাৰো কিন্তু স্কুল আৰু হস্পিটালৰ অভাৱত আমি নিজৰ ধৰ্মটোৰ পৰা আঁতৰি যাব নালাগে নিজৰ মনত ভাল লাগিছে বেলেগ কথা কিন্তু স্কুল আৰু কলেজ দিয়াৰ দায়িত্ব হ'ল চৰকাৰৰ চৰকাৰে আজি দিব নোৱাৰাৰ কাৰণে বাগিচাৰ মানুহে যথেষ্ট কষ্ট পালে আজি এই স্কুল দিবলৈ পাই মই অত্যন্ত আনন্দিত আৰু গৌৰৱ অনুভৱ কৰিছো এই স্কুলৰ পৰা বহুত ডাক্তৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰৰ জন্ম হওক প্ৰফেচাৰৰ জন্ম হওক শিক্ষকৰ জন্ম হওক তাকে ভগৱানৰ ওচৰত প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰি মই মোৰ বক্তব্যৰ সামৰণি মাৰিছো
Well, in a massive push to education infra in tea gardens of Assam, the state government has inaugurated 96 newly built high schools in the vicinity of the gardens. Following the inauguration of a model high school at the Pratapgarh Tea Estate in Bishwanath today, Chief Minister Sharma informed that a total of 200 high schools will come up and subsequently steps will be taken to also set a college in the tea garden area. Sharma also informed that schools in tea gardens have been named after personalities who come from the tea communities and have an uplift of gardens.
চাহ বাগিচাৰ বিদ্যালয়কেইখন বাগিচাৰ ৰাইজৰ হকে সংগ্ৰাম কৰা বা বাগিচাৰ পৰা ওলাই গৈ স্বাধীনতা সংগ্ৰামত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰা বিভিন্ন বৰেণ্য ব্যক্তিৰ নামত নামাকৰণ কৰা হৈছে যোৱাকালি কেবাখনো বিদ্যালয় শহীদ মাংৰি ওৰাঙকে ধৰি দয়াল দাস পানিকাকে ধৰি বহুতৰ নামত উৎসৰ্গিত কৰিছিলোঁ আজি এই প্ৰতাপগড় চাহ বাগিচাৰ এই বিদ্যালয়খন বিজয় চন্দ্ৰ ভাগৱতীৰ নামত আমি উৎসৰ্গা কৰিছোঁ অহা দিনবিলাকত আমি 116খন বিদ্যালয়ৰ কাম হাতত লৈছিলোঁ 96খনৰ কাম শেষ হ'ল অহা দিনবিলাকত আৰু 20খন হাইস্কুলৰ কাম শেষ হ'ব আৰু সৰ্বমুঠ হাইস্কুল আমি 200খন প্ৰতিষ্ঠা কৰিম অহা 2 বছৰৰ ভিতৰত এই হাইস্কুলবিলাকক আমি উচ্চতৰ মাধ্যমিকলৈকে ৰূপান্তৰিত কৰিম যেনেকৈ আমি চাহ বাগিচাৰ হাইস্কুল আৰু হায়াৰ ছেকেণ্ডেৰী বনাইছোঁ এই 5 বছৰৰ ভিতৰতে বাগিচাৰ এটা অঞ্চলক সামৰি একোখন মহাবিদ্যালয় নিৰ্মাণৰো ৰাজ্য চৰকাৰৰ পৰিকল্পনা আছে
Meanwhile, speaking on the availability of teachers, Sharma said enough manpower is available. However, people should be ready to serve in rural areas.
অসমত আমাৰ শিক্ষক শিক্ষয়িত্ৰী অজস্ৰ আছে সমস্যাটো হৈছে যে বহুত শিক্ষক শিক্ষয়িত্ৰীয়ে ভিতৰুৱা গাঁৱলৈ যাব নোখোজে সংখ্যাত সমস্যা নহয় সমস্যাটো মানসিকতা সংবাদ মাধ্যমৰো এটা গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ ভূমিকা আছে ৰাইজৰ মানসিকতা সলনি কৰাৰ ময়ো চেষ্টা কৰি আছো আপোনালোকেও
And now on to the big story from Manipur. Well, is there an international conspiracy to destabilize peace and communal harmony in Manipur? Were certain social media posts put up deliberately to incite enmity between tribes? Well, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has questioned the acts of activist Mark Haukip, who works for a Myanmar-based rights organization. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh termed Haukip's actions as a deliberate attempt to disturb peace. Well, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh added that the law will take its own course. He further said that being a so-called rights activist does not give an individual the freedom to post anything and everything on social media.
No, many people were arrested. Not Mark is not the only one, but law will take its own course. Let the law take their own course, his own course. We should not interfere in the governance. As a government, we need to have balance. We are also not looking on one community. We're looking for the nation. We're looking for the state as a whole. We're not against anybody. We're against the element who are trying to bridge the peace between the communities here in the state. Those guys who are trying to destabilize the peaceful coexistence of the state has to be. Law will take its own course. Yeah, yeah. Human right. He is from Myanmar. Clearly seen in his address in the Facebook and the WhatsApp and everywhere in the even in the the Twitter. You see here, President International Human Rights Association in charge of Myanmar. You see. I'm not telling lies. In charge of Myanmar, how he can interfere in the internal matter of the Manipur, internal matter of the India? The question is how he entered, how he was staying in the India. This also a question because I have to save the nation. I have to save the state. I cannot succumb to pressure by someone who are trying to grab our land.
Meanwhile, rights activist Mark Howcape, who was arrested for allegedly inciting enmity between communities through his social media post, has tendered an apology for quote unquote mistakenly defaming the good image of freedom fighter Rani Gaidanliu in a social media post in November 2021. Howkip said that the post was put up unintentionally and that he did not expect it to provoke serious consequences and hurt the sentiments of the people. Howkip also appealed to the general public to accept his sincere apology. It may be mentioned that protests had erupted in Manipur's Churachandpur district after Mark Howkip was arrested from Delhi for allegedly inciting enmity between communities through his social media post. Well, staying with Manipur, Chief Minister Ren Biren Singh's War on Drugs 2.0 is making a decisive progress with more and more communities pitching in to make it a grand success. The initiative got another shot in the arm today with the Mao community extending support to the campaign. Representatives of the Mao Council, along with Minister Letpao Howkip, called on Chief Minister Ren Biren Singh to extend their support to the war against drugs. Well, Chief Minister Ren Biren lauded the community initiative, adding that the support will go a long way in making the war against drugs a success.
The peoples who are coming out openly in support of a government policy. Government policy, war against the drugs, war against the poppy plantation, war against the drug smuggling. It is, huge support I'm getting now. But now today, especially the Mao communities, which is immediate neighboring with the Nagaland, is coming forward and coming down up to here with a letter in supporting the war on drugs of the government. It is the happiest moment. I am really thanks the people of the Mao Council, people of the Mao Student Union, people of the Mao Mothers Association, and the Mao Parents Body. I would like to appreciate. About this, they initiated one thing today is very encouraging. Once the Imphal Dimapur road was, taken as like a problem road, but now the Mao people themselves has come out and they are making a safety national highway safety schemes under the leadership of the honorable MLA Dikho. They are going to plant the trees. They are going to make the safer national highway, not to prevent from the accident. So this kind of positive things I didn't expect. But thank God, and thank to the peoples of the Mao community for such innovative and encouraging mission.
Well, the Mount Naga Women Welfare Association also exuded confidence that with participation of communities in war on drugs, the campaign will definitely succeed.
Since 1980, we have been going on this prohibition means prohibition of selling wild and drugs and all. And so we are continuing till today. But then there's so many things that we can't go without the support of government and also without the support of all the people. But then we are very happy today that our government is going on with the mission war on drug. So we are very happy that we will surely success our mission.
And the war on drugs and contraband items continues to pick pace in Assam as well. Well, Guwahati police has made one of the biggest seizure of cough syrup. An interstate border network was busted today as part of an operation that was led by Guwahati Joint Commissioner of Police Parthasarthi Mahanta. A total of 30,000 bottles was seized today, with each bottle costing at least rupees 3,000 in neighboring Bangladesh. However, the cost per bottle can increase by another 1,000 rupees depending on the demand and supply. Well, a rough estimate puts the price of the seized contraband items at rupees 9 crore. So, viewers, the war on drugs and contraband items continues to pick pace in Assam, and Guwahati police has made one of the biggest seizure of cough syrup. An interstate border network was busted today as part of an operation that was led by Guwahati Joint Commissioner of Police Parthasarthi Mahanta. A total of 30,000 bottles was seized today, with each bottle costing at least rupees 3,000 in neighboring Bangladesh. However, the cost per bottle can increase by another 1,000 rupees depending on the demand and supply. A rough estimate puts the price of the seized contraband items at rupees 9 crore. Time for a very short break now. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে
বজাই দিম আজি
মৰমেৰে বুজাম লাহে লাহে কৰি
তেওঁ আমাৰ মাত কথাই কয়
এয়াতো আমাৰেই মাত কথা যদি এক তেন্তে হৃদয়ো এক হোৱা উচিত विमल कौक भाखा केसरी आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Salmonella.
Absent.
Perfect attendance.
নিমৰ শক্তি ভৰা নিমাইলে আঁতৰাই 100টা বেমাৰ বিয়পোৱা বীজাণু নিমাইল ঘৰ বিশুদ্ধ ঘৰ
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live, and now before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma speaks against alleged conversion in the garb of providing education. Says government schools in tea gardens will ensure no one needs to change religion in exchange of education and health facilities. Manipur Chief Minister slams activists of Myanmar-based rights organization for allegedly trying to disturb peace in state. Says law will take its own course, and activist Mark Haukip apologized for insulting legendary freedom fighter Rani Gaidinliu. Brisk communication on between top brass of core committee on Naga talks and NSC and IM leadership to finalize date for crucial meeting. Meeting likely to take place before NSC and IM's emergency National Assembly meet. Biggest seizure of cough syrup by Guwahati police. Interstate network busted. Cough syrup worth rupees 9 crore seized. And locals in Arunachal's Tirap district take to the streets against frequent kidnappings by underground groups. Chant slogans demanding peace and security. Moving on to Arunachal Pradesh now. Well, locals across different villages in Arunachal's insurgency hit Tirap district took to the streets today protesting against abduction and insurgency by the NSCN. The protest follows the recent abduction of Kilang Hakum, the Gram Panchayat chairperson by the NSCN from his residence on May 20th. As per inputs, Kilang was abducted by the outfit for non-payment of self-imposed house tax and indent tax since the last 2 years. It is learned that Kilang was harassed mentally in captivity and released yesterday. Subsequently, the villagers of Sanilam, Lonyan, Laju, and Kotung opposed the harassment, abduction, and demands of the NSCN, carrying out protest rallies in their respective villages. So viewers, locals across different villages in Arunachal's insurgency hit Tirap district took to the streets today, as you can see on your screens, protesting against abduction and insurgency by the NSCN. Well, the protest follows the recent abduction of Kilang Hangpuk, the Gram Panchayat chairperson, by the NSCN from his residence on May 20th. As per inputs, Kilang was abducted by the outfit for non-payment of self-imposed house tax and indent tax since the last 2 years. It is learned that Kilang was harassed mentally in the captivity and released yesterday. Subsequently, the villagers of Sanilam, Lonyan, Laju, and Kotung opposed the harassment, abduction, and demands of the NSCN, carrying out protest rallies in their respective villages.
We love Venetian KY. Stop kidnapping. Venetian KY. Stop kidnapping. We want peace. We want peace. We love We love wants peace. Tira wants peace. Tira wants peace. NSCN. Sharam karo. NSCN. Sharam karo. NSCN. Sharam karo.
And on to the big story related to the Naga peace talks now. Well, highly placed sources have informed that brisk communication underway between the top brass of the core committee on Naga peace talks and the NSC and IM leadership to finalize the date and time for a crucial meeting to give a definite shape to the peace agreement. Chief Minister Nefurio and some top core committee members are expected to meet the NSC and IM leaders on May 29 ahead of the NSC and IM Emergency National Assembly meet on May 31st. It may be mentioned that the core committee on Naga political issue had a crucial sitting in Kohima yesterday to discuss on the talking points with the NSC and IM leadership. Well, there is a sudden urgency in things as far as the Naga peace talks is concerned after the core committee's recent visit to Delhi. A member of the core committee and UDA co-chairman K. Nenu informed Northeast Life earlier in the week that the government of India may be willing to quote-unquote incorporate the Naga statue in the Indian constitution besides allowing use of Naga flag in cultural events. Nenu added that the ball is in the NSC and IM's court now, and everything will depend on whether the Naga political group takes the offer and closes the deal. All right, to know more on this, we are being joined over phone line with our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. So, Wasbir, as per sources, brisk communication is underway between the core committee and the IM leadership. So, is the input confirmed, Wasbir?
Well, Priya, yes, there has been a lot of communication between the core committee secretariat and the NSCNIM leadership. Basically, they're trying to fix a date. Now, sources are telling us that the date has more or less been fixed of May. That is 29th of May, where the Chief Minister Nefurio and other top leaders and few other top leaders of the core committee are going to meet the NSCNIM leadership. Now, this meeting is expected to take place at the police guest house, police complex in Chamukidima, and for reasons of this meeting, which is going to take place in the police complex in Chamukidima. This is going to be a critical meeting where the core committee members are going to discuss what is believed to be a formula devised by the center to break the deadlock as far as the Naga peace talks are concerned. And the formula involves, letting the Nagas use the flag for cultural purposes and also give a reflection of the Naga statute or the Yazabo in the Indian Constitution. So in what form it is going to be reflected in the Indian Constitution, those things are a matter of detail. Of course, they're not giving out details to the media at this point in time, but we are getting to know that these are the two points that the government of India has decided to take it forward in order to break the impasse. And the meeting between the Chief Minister, core committee members, and the NSCNIM in all probability is fixed for 29th of May, and that will be ahead of the May 31st Emergency National Assembly meeting of the NSCNIM. And NSCNIM also wants to give and deliberate and give a final shape or a final push to the draft that will ultimately lead to the signing of the Naga Peace Accord.
Well, Wasbir, as you've already mentioned, that the NSCNIM has also called for a meeting of its ranks on May 31st. So can we say this is the final push for solution and it's now or never, Wasbir?
Well, yes. This can be considered as an now or never moment because people like Deputy Chief Minister Y. Patton and others have gone on record to say that the BJP has a majority in Parliament. The BJP is running the central government. There is a BJP and alliance partner government in Nagaland. So this is the right opportune time for a Naga Accord to be clinched. So therefore, they have appealed to everyone to seize the opportunity to take advantage of this situation and sign the Naga Accord. But at the end of the day, the ball lies in the court of the NSCNIM because as far as the NMPGs are concerned, they consider that the discussions have come to an end. They are ready to sign on the agreement. But that is not the case with the NSCNIM. Now that the government of India has come up with this two offer about a flag and the constitution, the ball is clearly in the court of the NSCNIM, and that is the mood among the core committee members. At least the majority of the core committee members, they want the NSCNIM to walk the extra mile like the government of India. That's what they say. So at the end of the day, we have to wait and watch how things unfold. The meeting on 29th between the Chief Minister, the core committee members, and the NSCNIM will be critical. And of course, the NSCNIM itself has called this meeting on 31st of May the Emergency National Assembly. That is going to give a final shape to the draft that may ultimately lead to the signing of the Naga peace deal. But of course, there will be a lot of other events in the timeline leading up to the signing of the accord. The framework agreement of the NSCNIM and the agreed position of the NNPGs, they will be combined together to come up with a combined draft accord that will be also presented to the legislators, the elected representatives in Nagaland. That will also be given in the public domain for the common people to see, and therefore only then it will go back for the actual signing. So there are a lot of steps left, but yes, these are crucial meetings, the May 29 meeting as well as the 31st May meeting convened by the NSCNIM itself.
All right, Wasbir, thank you so much for all those details. And now on to the big story from Tripura. Well, the Tripura State Election Commission has begun its preparations for the by-polls set to take place in the 4 seats on June 23rd. Tripura Chief Election Officer Kiran Gite today held a press conference over the holding of by-polls in the four constituencies of Agartala Assembly Constituency, Town Bardoli Assembly Constituency, Surma Assembly Constituency, and Juba Rajnagar Assembly Constituency. Well, Gite stated that a total of 1,88,854 voters would be casting their votes during the by-polls that would be held in the four constituencies. Well, Gite also stated that webcasting will be there for free and fair voting at the polling booths. He also stated that CCTV coverage along with webcasting would be provided at 50% of polling stations. Gite also said that there are a total of 221 polling stations and they would be categorized as per their vulnerability.
We have gone through the past record of these four assembly constituencies. এখানে কত ভোট হয় পোলিং স্টেশন ওয়াইজ আমরা আগের রেকর্ড আমরা চেক করেছি কোথায় কোনো ভায়োলেন্স অথবা কিছু আগে হয়েছে তো এরকম আমাদের ক্যাটাগরি আছে নর্মাল ভালনারেবল ক্রিটিক্যাল কোথায় কোথায় ভালনারেবল অ্যান্ড ক্রিটিক্যাল দোনো তো এরকম আমরা ক্যাটাগরাইজেশন আমরা করেছি তো সেই অনুযায়ী সিকিউরিটি দেওয়া হবে we are doing CCTV coverage okay so now webcasting is additional feature and webcasting needs a lot of infrastructure support so wherever there is a vulnerable critical or any local assessment is there so RO also recommends so normally it is said that webcasting should be around 50% 50% के आसपास हम लोग करेंगे जितना जरूरत पड़ेगी हम लोग करेंगे और सभी फ्री फेयर ट्रांसपेरेंट মেজার্স মধ্যে ভোটিং হবে এখানে ইলেকশন কমিশন অফ ইন্ডিয়া থেকে অবজারভার থাকবে তো আমরা ওদের সঙ্গে কাজ করে ইলেকশন ফ্রি অ্যান্ড ফেয়ার হবে ইলেকশন কমিশন অফ ইন্ডিয়া গতকালকে নোটিফিকেশন করে 4টি আসন এখানে বাই ইলেকশন ঘোষণা করছে আগামী 30 মে আমরা গেজেট নোটিফিকেশন করব और ওই দিন থেকেই নমিনেশন শুরু হবে और 6 জুন লাস্ট ডেট অফ নমিনেশন 7 জুন হবে স্ক্রুটিনি और উইথড্রয়াল অফ ক্যান্ডিডেটচার হবে 9 জুন তো 9 তারিখে আমরা ক্যান্ডিডেট লিস্ট ফাইনাল করব ডেট অফ পোল হচ্ছে 23 জুন ডেট অফ কাউন্টিং হবে 26 জুন তো যেহেতু গতকালকে ইলেকশন কমিশন অফ ইন্ডিয়া বাই ইলেকশন অ্যানাউন্স করেছে এটা মডেল কোড অফ কন্ডাক্ট গতকাল থেকেই শুরু হয়েছে নর্থ ত্রিপুরা জেলা ঢালাই ডিস্ট্রিক্ট আর আগরতলা মধ্যে যেহেতু অ্যাসেম্বলি কনস্টিটিউয়েন্সি মিউনিসিপাল কর্পোরেশন এরিয়ার মধ্যে আছে মডেল কোড অফ কন্ডাক্ট শুধু আগরতলা কনস্টিটিউয়েন্সি আর বরদোয়ালি কনস্টিটিউয়েন্সি মধ্যেই সীমিত থাকবে
And shifting focus now. The Airgun Surrender Abhiyan in Arunachal Pradesh is bringing in revolution as far as preservation of wildlife is concerned in the frontier state where hunting has been a community practice since history. Well, taking this a step ahead, the Dibang Forest Division in Roing today held a mega airgun surrender ceremony at Gidi Notco. It may be mentioned that the Airgun Surrender Abhiyan is spinning new hopes of wildlife conservation since it was launched in March. Over 2,000 airguns have been surrendered in the state so far. Meanwhile, our colleague Meme Mangfe was at the Airgun Surrender ceremony and caught up.
Hello viewers, reporting you from Roing, where voluntary airgun surrender is being organized by Dibang Division Forest in collaboration with DFO Mihao Wildlife Sanctuary Division Roing. You see Arunachal Pradesh where hunting has been a community practice since ages, and today people for good cause especially to maintain ecology system, people are voluntarily surrendering their air gun, and this idea of airgun surrender abhiyan has been running quite successfully. It's been a year that this idea has been implemented and initiated by the State Forest and Environment Minister Mama Natung. So here is a report. So right now we have one Gaon Bura here with me, just beside me, who came here to attend the airgun surrender abhiyan. सबसे पहले सर आपका नाम बताइए और आप कौन सा बस्ती की जो आपका जो गांव पूरा है आप वो बता दीजिए।
हाँ, हम बोलुंग बस्ती का गामबुरा हेड गामबुरा बोलुंग का
आपका नाम नाम
रामपोगिरांग।
तो आप बोलुंग बस्ती से आया है यहाँ पे ये एयरगन सरेंडर मीटिंग ये इसको अटेंड करने के लिए ना ये कैंपेन में। तो आप आपका बोलुंग बस्ती की तरफ से और आप एज ए हेड गांव बुरा आप क्या कहेंगे ये कैंपेन को लेके जो एयरगन सरेंडर अभी जो हो रहा है हर जगह जगह पे।
हाँ, ये अच्छा है। हमारा वहाँ में भी ऐसा इसी सामने हमारा ये घर में लड़का लोग आकर एयरगन जमा किया और उन लोग को हम थैंक यू वेरी मच देख के उन लोग को हम विदाई दिया। और ये हमारा वहाँ मैं हमेशा उन लोग को बोलते हूँ ये उन लोग एयरगन बुक के घूमने मत जाओ।
मेरा नाम है इप्रा मेकोला, मैं यही दिवांग वैली से बिलोंग करता हूँ और जैसे अपर लोअर दोनों तरफ से मैं बिलोंग करता हूँ एक इदू मिश्मी कम्युनिटी से। और ये जो एयर गन सरेंडर अभियान जो है जिस मुहिम चलाया जा रहा है इसमें हमको बहुत ही अच्छा लगा कि क्योंकि हम लोग जैसे इंटेलेक्चुअल ग्रुप्स लोग अगर इनिशिएटिव नहीं करेगा, अगर हम एयर गन्स को सरेंडर नहीं करेगा तो बाकी लोग सरेंडर नहीं करेंगे। तो सरेंडर नहीं करने का मतलब हमने जो चिड़ियों के जो जानवरों की जो संख्या जो है हम ही घटा रहा है। इस तरह सोच करके हम लोग ने एक गिल्टी फील करते हुए हम लोग ने ये अभियान को साथ सहयोग दिया। इसको ज्ञान को बांटना, समाज को ज्ञान बांटना तो हम लोग जैसे इंटेलेक्चुअल ग्रुप्स ही करना चाहिए, यही सोच करके। और आपके द्वारा जो ये मैसेज जो जा रहा है सुनने वालों सब साथ दे ताकि जो हमारा अरुणाचल का जो शिक्षित लोगों से पहले ही ये काम चालू करना चाहिए, तो हम लोग सबसे पहले वही करना चाहिए, साथ दीजिए, वही मैं कहना चाहता हूँ।
जी, सरेंडर अभियान हम लोग शुरू किया है। हाँ, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर जब घोषणा किया है तो हम लोग तुरंत एक प्रोन में निकाला है टू बी एन एग्जाम्पल, तो लोग को जागरूकता एनकरेजमेंट दिलाने के लिए हम लोग पहली बार किया है। इस महत्वपूर्ण कदम को किसी ने नहीं उठाया। जब ये मामा नातुंग जी ये जिम्मा संभाला है उन्होंने ये बहुत अच्छा बल कदम उठा दिया कि हम सब भी समझते सोचते हैं कि ये हंटिंग बंद करना चाहिए, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट का तरफ से इनिशिएशन नहीं होने से इसको सही प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं होता है, सही तरीका से कर नहीं पा रहा था।
और हमारा भी एक मॉरल रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, परम कर्तव्य है कि जो हमारा बीजेपी सरकार दिल्ली हो या अरुणाचल, तो एक ग्लोबल वार्मिंग इकोसिस्टम को बचाने का हम भारत सरकार हिंदुस्तान जो है नेतृत्व करता है। और इसके बदौलत हमारा नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, हमारा हिंदुस्तान का, हमारे इंडिया का जो नाम जो है ऊंचा ये में है, रेस्पेक्ट जो दूसरा कंट्री लोग जो देते हैं। और बाकी इसको जो प्रोफेशनल वे में डेली जो हंटर्स है उनके लिए क्लियर कट मैसेज है कि चलिए आप भी बंद कीजिए।
आज 76 एयरगन ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट में सरेंडर हुआ, तो इसका मेरा जो अभी आपको पता है कि 17 मार्च 2020 से शुरू हुआ ये, तो अभी एक साल कुछ हो गया। तो इसको सरेंडर करवाने का मेन ये है कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश, आपको पता है कि पूरे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में अरुणाचल प्रदेश जो है सबसे बड़ा प्रदेश में से है, जिसमें से 83,743 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर है। और फॉरेस्ट कवरेज जो है देश में से नंबर 1 है, जो 80% फॉरेस्ट कवरेज है। लेकिन हमारा जो ट्रैवल लोग अरुणाचल प्रदेश का जो ट्रैवल जो बसते हैं जिले जिले गांव में, तो इतना बड़ा जंगल है, तो जंगल में धीरे धीरे अपना जो पशु पक्षी है, वाइल्ड लाइफ है, वो खत्म होते जा रहा है। तो सरकार ने ये निर्णय लिया कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने ये निर्णय लिया कि पेमा गांधी जी ने कि डिपार्टमेंट में विभाग को इस प्रकार का काम कुछ शुरू करे। तो हमने 17 मार्च अपना गांव से ही हमने शुरू किया। चैरिटी बिगिन फ्रॉम होम, अपना इस कमिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट से और अपना देवयार सर्किल से मैंने शुरू किया, जिसमें से 46 गांव सरेंडर हुआ। उसके बाद इसको पूरा प्रदेश में जन भागीदारी बनाकर ये अभियान में चला रहा हूँ और सरकार का नीति में और पूरा सभी जनता उसको सपोर्ट कर रहा है।
Well, yes, this is the first time that the air gun surrender campaign जो अभियान चला रहा है पूरी अरुणाचल पे पहले बार रोइंग पर हुआ है और ये हमारे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है क्योंकि ये कैंपेन अपने आप में बहुत गहराई बहुत डेप्थ कैंपेन है। इसका उद्देश्य आपको पता है कि हमारे परिवार को कैसे बचाएंगे, हमारे पशु पक्षी को कैसे बचाएंगे। तो वी आर वेरी हैप्पी, द पीपल ऑफ रोइंग आर वेरी हैप्पी दैट the Honorable Minister Mama Natong ji decided to come here, and people have voluntarily surrendered their air guns and things like that. So,
सर आज जो अराउंड टोटल 76 एयर गन सरेंडर किया गया है and a person from this area only have submitted around 2 or 3 lakhs cost उनका जो air gun surrender किया गया है तो and also there is this opinion that ये कहना है कि इतना expensive air gun surrender किया जाता है and moreover जो हंटिंग है वो बहुत काफ़ी सालों साल से यहाँ पे अरुणाचल में प्रैक्टिस किया जाता है तो नॉट दिस पीपल दे सेज दैट कि चलो एयरगन तो सरेंडर किया जाएगा बट देयर शुड बी इंसेंटिव और कंपनसेट बाय गवर्नमेंट तो उसके क्या कहेंगे आप?
सी देखिए जो लोग सरेंडर कर रहा है गन्स दे आर सरेंडरिंग इट वॉलंटरीली। हाँ किसी किसी का राय हो सकता है कि इंसेंटिवाइज करना है पर इसका ऑलरेडी इंसेंटिव्स है सरकार के तरफ से। द इंसेंटिव्स इज दैट आपका फॉरेस्ट कवरेज आपका पशु पक्षी बचाए जाएंगे। उन लोग यहाँ का जो बायोडाइवर्सिटी हॉटस्पॉट्स है उसी को यही देखने के लिए आता है, यहाँ घने जंगले को देखने आता है। दीज आर द इंसेंटिव्स और इसी के जरिए ही तो हमें पैसा मिलता है।
And time for another short break. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
The most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
সাধারণ স্টিল এনে কই পরে মাইথন স্টিল এনে কই পরে ধম কই
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
আনন্দৰ উৎসৱ বিহু আহিছে ঘৰে ঘৰে আহাৰৰ সোৱাদ জাগিছে এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ উইশেছ ইউ এ হেপী বিহু
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে
বুজাই দিম আজি
মৰমেৰে বুজাম লাহে লাহে কৰি
তেওঁ আমাৰ মাত কথাই কয়
এয়াতো আমাৰেই মাত কথা যদি এক তেন্তে হৃদয়ো এক হোৱা উচিত বিমল কক ভাষা কেচৰি
Northeast Live.
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live and moving on to Meghalaya now. State Education Minister Lakhmen Rimbui today informed that the State Engineering College will be operational and that the process of obtaining permission from AICTE and other agencies is on.
This now is on for the affiliation to Nehu, and the process is on for sanctioning of posts and application to AICTE. So this process is on. I hope that we will be able to complete the process subject to the approval of the regulatory authority, that means AICTE.
Rimwe added that the government also has a plan in place to set up a state university. Rimwe added that the moment Nehu is catering to the students of the state.
It is an endeavor of every state government to have its own university. So, as I said time and again, that we from the state of Meghalaya also, it is we have a plan, but that plan I cannot say right now because it also involve a huge financial implication. But if because as of now, Nehu could still cater to the need of the college in the state of Meghalaya. But if the need arise, then the government will surely do the needful.
And in some other stories now, as the situation in Assam's Dima Hasao district is gradually returning back to normalcy, it seems all is still not well in the hill district. Well, Topodisa is one such village in the district which witnessed massive landslides after the incessant rains. In the village, many houses and parked vehicles were damaged as they were toppled down with debris of heavy landslides. With no assessment being made till date, the actual loss in the village has not been ascertained. The damages to dwelling houses caused by landslides have become a serious matter of concern, with as many as 35 houses damaged out of 125 in the village. Likewise, in the Johoya Raji village, many houses have been damaged. The recent landslides due to heavy rain have damaged at least 15 dwelling houses of Johoya Raji. The woods of the villagers have reached such a level that the villagers are not afraid of staying at their house as it might be crashed any moment due to landslide. Meanwhile, the Assam Rifles is coming to the aid of the villagers for whom it has become near to impossible to make situation fall back in place. Well, the Assam Rifles is providing recovery assistance for the vehicles that were toppled down by the landslides.
जो है राजी इटू हम लोग का सब इटू माटी तो गोर तो लैंडस्लाइड हो गया सब चला गया और गोर भी चला गया सब माने दाब गया और उसका बाद में इटू माने हम लोग का गोर का सामने सामने वाला भी 3-4 तो गोर इसे भी दाब के चला गया माने थोड़ा थोड़ा करके इटू जाते ही रहता
गोर छोड़ दिया अभी
ना गोर छोड़ दिया अभी बैठने नहीं सकता गोर में डर से
सुबह में जब हम लोग ये सो रहा था उस टाइम में ज्यादा बारिश हुआ ऐसे सुना ना आवाज भी सुनना माटी सब गिरा ना तो उठ के देखा तो हम लोग का घर का बाहर में भी माटी पूरा लैंडस्लाइड हो गया हमें भी बाद में खबर करा और नीचे तरफ में भी बहुत लैंडस्लाइड हुआ जैसे कि वो क्लब का नीचे उस तरफ में भी हुआ ये आसपास में भी है बहुत सारा है लैंडस्लाइड हुआ
ये मोटामोटी एरिया में कितना तो घर खराब हुआ
मोटामोटी मेरे ख्याल में 35 एसएस में
16 तारीख सुबह 3 बजे 4 बजे जैसे हुआ फिर 17 तारीख को भी आया 2 दिन 3 दिन लगातार आते रहा ये तो हमारा खेल में तो यहाँ तो थोड़ा रिक्स है रहने चाहिए
उस दिन में तो 14 डेट में ना हमारा घर एकदम फागर में हम खाना पकाया और में एकदम माटी गिरा हमारा फागर सब टूट गया बर्तन सतन भी नहीं मिला खबर दूसरा जो
All right, moving on now. So, do you have the habit of adding a little bit of salt to your tea? Well, if the answer is yes, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has a piece of advice for you. Addressing tea garden workers in Bishwanath today, Chief Minister Sharma highlighted the ill effects of mixing tea with salt, saying that it was strategy installed by the British to bring down longevity of the people. He said it was a matter of concern that the practice still continues in some parts of the state, particularly in the tea gardens. He appealed to the people to not add salt in tea and also add sugar in minimal quantities.
এটা মই কথা এটা কম, এইটো স্কুলৰ লগত কথা নহয়। আৰু এটা মই অনুৰোধ কৰিম, আমাৰ বাগিচাত যিমানবিলাক ইয়াত মা আছে বাবা আছে, চাহ খাওঁতে নিমখ মিলাই চাহ খোৱা মানুহ কিমান আছে? হাত দাঙকচোন। নিমখ কিমানে মিলাই? নিমখ হয়, তহঁতে হাতটো লাজতে দাঙা নাই, দাং আকৌ। নিমখ কিমানে দাঙ? এটা কথা মই কওঁ, যেতিয়া চাহত আমি নিমখ দিওঁ, লাহে লাহে ব্লাড প্ৰেছাৰ 180লৈকে বাঢ়ি যায়। সেইকাৰণে আপোনালোকে বাগিচাত দেখিব যে বুঢ়া মানুহ বাগিচাত নাথাকে। আমাৰ গাঁৱত 90-80 বছৰৰ বুঢ়া মানুহ পাব, বাগিচাত 60 বছৰতে মানুহ মৰি যায়। কিয়? ব্ৰিটিছ বিলাকে এইটো টেকনিক উলিয়াইছিলে যে যদি বাগিচাত বুঢ়া মানুহ থাকে, পাত তুলিব যাব নোৱাৰিব, সিহঁতৰ বেমাৰ হ'ব, হস্পিটালৰ ঔষধ আমি দিব লাগিব, লাইনৰ ঘৰ দখল কৰি থাকিব, বেমাৰ হ'লে এম্বুলেন্স আনিব লাগিব। সেইকাৰণে ব্ৰিটিছ বিলাকে কি কৰিছিল, সেই সময়ত চাহৰ লগত মানুহক নিমখ খুৱাব প্ৰেক্টিছ কৰাই দিছিল। লাহে লাহে আমাৰ প্ৰেক্টিছ থাকি গ'ল, আৰু নিমখ খাওঁতে খাওঁতে আপোনালোকে বাগিচাৰ যিকোনো এজন বয়োজ্যেষ্ঠ মানুহৰ ব্লাড প্ৰেছাৰ আজি প্ৰতাপগড়ত চাব 120-80ত কোনো নাই, চব 160-180, মূৰ ঘূৰাই থাকে। বহুতে কয় মদ খোৱাৰ কাৰণে হৈছে, মদ খোৱাৰ কাৰণে 50% হৈছে, কিন্তু 50% চাহত নিমখ খোৱাৰ কাৰণে হৈছে। সেইকাৰণে মই বাগিচাৰ ৰাইজক অনুৰোধ কৰিছো যে চাহত যাতে নিমখ নাখায়। বোলে নিমখ নাখালে চেনি দিয়ক, চেনিটোও বেয়া বস্তু। আমাৰ গাঁৱৰ মানুহবিলাকে চাহত 3 চামুচ চেনি মিলাই চব ডায়েবেটিছ হয়। সিহঁতে চেনি পানী খায় নে চাহ পানী খায় গমেই নাপায়। আৰু ব্ৰিটিছ বিলাকে কেনেকে চাহ খায়, নিমখো নিমিলাই চেনিও নিমিলাই, সিহঁতে চাহক খায়। আমি চাহ নাখাওঁ, আমি নিমখক খাওঁ আৰু চেনিক খাওঁ। সেইকাৰণে ময়ো আজিকালি নিমখ আৰু চেনি খোৱা বাদ দিছো, চাহ খোৱা আৰম্ভ কৰিছো। চাহটো চাহ বুলিয়ে খাব লাগে। যদি নিমখ আৰু চেনি লগাই দিওঁ, এইটোতো চেনি পানী নিমখ পানী হৈ গ'ল। সেইকাৰণে মই বাগিচা ৰাইজক অনুৰোধ কৰিম, আপোনালোকে যে নিমখ চাহত নিমিলাই। গাঁৱৰ মানুহকো মই ৰিকুৱেষ্ট কৰিম, চেনি যদি মিলাই অকণমান মিলাব, নিমিলালেই ভাল। তেতিয়া আমি সুস্বাস্থ্যৰ অধিকাৰী হ'ম আৰু আমি বহুত দূৰ আগুৱাই যাব পাৰিম।
And on to national focus now. Well, athletes and coaches at the Delhi government-run Tyagaraja Stadium have been complaining about being forced to wrap up their training early because Delhi's Principal Secretary Revenue, Sanjeev Kirwar, takes his dog for a walk at the facility. According to media reports, the sportspersons have to leave the ground at least an hour early so that Kirwar can take a walk along with his dog on the ground. Well, the training activities that usually last till 8 to 8:30 p.m. in the evening was suspended by 7 p.m., especially for a reason that left the athletes dumbfounded. And meanwhile, the athletes and coaches said that the stadium guards have compelled them to finish training by 7 p.m. as the IAS officer has to stroll his dog on the premises. Well, Sanjeev Kirwar, Delhi's Principal Secretary of Revenue, has been accused of taking his dog inside the sports complex around 7:30 p.m. Built for the 2010 Commonwealth Games, the centrally located sporting complex is a multidiscipline facility that attracts national and state athletes and footballers. However, when confronted, the officer denied any such allegation but accepted that he sometimes takes his pet for a walk but never on a routine basis. Meanwhile, in the wake of the controversy, the Delhi government has now increased the timing of the stadium operations till 10 p.m. to ensure that the athletes get to train till late and no stadium is shut by 7 p.m. And we have reactions coming in from eminent sports personalities on the entire matter. Listen in.
बताओ इससे ज्यादा बुरी बात क्या हो सकती है। मतलब जो स्टेडियम स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन के लिए बना है, वहां पर आप कुत्तों को तवज्जो दे रहे हो। मैं ये नहीं कहती हूँ, बहुत से डॉग लवर्स हैं, उनको शायद बुरा लगा होगा, लेकिन अगर आपको कुत्तों से इतना प्यार है, उनको आप स्टेडियम में घुमाने मत लाएं, उनको आप पार्क में लेके जाएं, कहीं डॉग पार्क हो वहां ले जाएं, जहां पर अलाउड है, वो भी 8 बजे के बाद। जिस समय रनर्स होते हैं, जिस समय वॉकर्स होते हैं, उस समय तो पार्क में भी डॉग अलाउड नहीं होते विदाउट चेन। तो फिर ये तो स्टेडियम है, यहाँ तो खिलाड़ियों को प्रैक्टिस करनी है, तो इसलिए ये तो बहुत गलत हो रहा है। फिर हम सोचते हैं कि हमारे ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट निकलेंगे, हमारे इंटरनेशनल मेडलिस्ट निकलेंगे, जहां पर 4 बजे कितनी धूप होती है पता है? अगर एक बार वो अधिकारी जिसने ये ऑर्डर पास किया है, वो अधिकारी जो कुत्ते को 6 बजे लेके आते हैं, वो जाके 4 बजे एक बार वॉक करें ना, तो उन्हें सब पता चल जाएगा कि 4 बजे क्या मौसम है दिल्ली में। 43-44 डिग्री टेम्परेचर चल रहा है। वो एक्चुअली खिलाड़ियों के लिए बनाया जाता है, कॉमनवेल्थ के टाइम में ये बना था, तो अब इसको कुत्ता बनाने के लिए बनाना है, तो फिर बाहर लिख दीजिए किस जैसे अंग्रेजों के जमाने में होता था, और फिर करिए जो करना है।
नमस्कार। जैसा कि सुबह सुबह पता लगा कि दिल्ली के त्यागराज स्टेडियम में खिलाड़ियों का टाइम टेबल बदला गया। शाम को 3 या मतलब दोपहर ही लगा सकते हैं कि 3 या 4 बजे खिलाड़ी ट्रेनिंग करे, और शाम को कोई अधिकारी है तो अपना कुत्ता घुमाने के लिए उसको परमिशन दी गई है। ये बड़ी दुखद और शर्मनाक घटना है खिलाड़ियों के लिए, देश के लिए भी। स्टेडियम चाहे दिल्ली सरकार का हो, किसी का भी हो, वो खिलाड़ी के लिए है, तो खिलाड़ियों को इसमें प्रैक्टिस करने की परमिशन, और किसी भी टाइम खिलाड़ी प्रैक्टिस कर सकता है। खिलाड़ी को अगर अपना 100% देना है तो उसको ज़्यादा ट्रेनिंग करनी पड़ती है। हम भी ट्रेनिंग 4-4 बार ट्रेनिंग करते थे, रात को भी उठ के हम ट्रेनिंग करते थे, सुबह 3-4 बजे प्रैक्टिस करते थे। और स्टेडियम कोई सैर सपाटे के लिए या कुत्ता घुमाने के लिए नहीं होता, स्टेडियम होता है प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए, देश का नाम रोशन करने के लिए, मेडल जीतने के लिए।
And on to international focus now. Well, just a day after Cyprus leader Yassin Malik was sentenced to life imprisonment, Pakistan Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has written to United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachelet to urge India to acquit Yassin Malik from all charges and ensure his immediate release from prison so that he can be reunited with his family. Pakistan Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari on Wednesday asserted that Pakistan would never compromise on its national interest whenever it engages with any other country. Well, the Pakistan Foreign Minister urged the High Commissioner and the Human Rights Council to take immediate cognizance of India's targeting of indigenous Kashmiri leadership through motivated cases, particularly the treatment meted out to Malik. He asked the High Commissioner to urge India to acquit Malik from all baseless charges and ensure his immediate release from prison. And further, Foreign Minister Bilawal has also written a letter to the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Hussein Brahim Taha, apprising him of the dire human rights and humanitarian situation in Kashmir. It needs to be mentioned here that Malik recently pleaded guilty to all charges, including those under the stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, before a Delhi court in a case related to alleged terrorism and secessionist activities that disturbed the Kashmir Valley in the year 2017. Well, news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thanks for watching.
News channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.